What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. So today is travel day. We've got about a 5 to 5.5 hour drive to get to Missoula for the tournament. And before I can take off, I got to load the vehicle up. So here's what I'm bringing with me. So we've got the pinup 4x4x2, show me the money, asymmetric solid. That's going to probably see a lot of action this weekend. We have the symmetrical pin up 4x4x2 swagger. That one, not so sure about. It, gave me kind of an odd look on the pattern when I was practicing earlier in the week. Then we have the pin up fantasy by Swag 4x4x2. That one might come out of the bag as well. It kind of depends on how the pattern's playing. We have the pin down asymmetric solid big bro jacked. This ball actually showed me a pretty good look from a slightly deeper angle, so we're definitely taking that one along. We have the pin up Fantasy Star. This one's got a little bit longer pin on it. It's 4.5 by 2. Just remember, symmetrical balls, they don't really have a PSA till after you drill them, and the PSA is always on the thumb. So anyway, this ball is definitely making the trip because it's one of my more favorite pieces. Probably get some use out of it. We have our pin up asymmetric pearl big bro burn up. This is 4x4x2. It's our urethane, our pearl urethane. That one is definitely going to come out of the bag early. See how the pattern's playing. And then over here, in this bag, we have our pinup Incredible Hero, asymmetric pearl, 3000 grit. I expect that this ball will also get a lot of action this weekend. We have our pinup Joker Wild. This one has a slightly longer pin on it. But it has a slightly larger pin buffer, so it gives me a bit of a smoother shape into the pocket. This one is a 4.5 inch pin, and the pin buffer is 3 inches. Then we have our pin down asymmetric pearl, no graffiti. That ball, not so sure about, but I'm definitely bringing it just in case. And then lastly over here, in this bag, we've got our plastic spare ball, never leave home without it. And then my pin up 4x4x2 Swag Dynamite. So, got my backpack over there. Got my luggage over here. Time to get everything into the car. guys, we're all packed up, we're ready to go. Time to hit the road to Missoula. I'll catch you guys in a bit. All right, we're on our way out of town. Just got to make a quick stop to get some lunch because I didn't eat breakfast and I'm absolutely starving today. Jersey Mike subs, best subs in town. As we're driving here, this bridge that I'm going across right now had a pretty nasty multi-car pileup last year. We had a very late in the year freeze on the roads that a lot of people were not expecting, and it was one of those situations where it had been a really nice day. You know, the temperatures outside were actually pretty good, and you know, just a standard day, everybody's driving around on the interstate, and actually me and my family were almost involved in this. This vehicle that I'm driving right now, we had literally just bought this vehicle, and we were actually headed back from my bowling alley to bring the kids home from their youth league. And we were coming down the interstate because it had been the first time we'd driven this car out on the road. We wanted to give it a good drive across town, so we were coming down on the interstate, and all of a sudden it went from just a beautiful sunny day to just basically whiteout conditions. So the roads had basically froze very quickly, and there was black ice very quickly on that particular bridge. If I remember correctly from the news reports, there was like a 30 or 40 car pileup on that bridge. I don't recall if there was any fatalities, but yeah, anyway, long story short, the whole reason there's a set of construction there is because they're planning to redesign that bridge and make it a little bit safer for future traffic situations. So it was a pretty nasty situation. I mean, there was people actually jumping off the bridge into the river bottom below just to get away from oncoming vehicles that were not paying attention or just didn't see the pileup, and it was already too late by the time they had set the brakes. You know, my family and I in this little vehicle, this Chevy Cruze is a two-wheel drive stick shift, and you know, we were probably 2 miles away from where the main pileup was, but traffic was backed up that far, and you know, when it went to complete whiteout conditions, I of course started to slow down. But by the time I saw the taillights in front of me, it was almost too late. I had to slam on the brakes, and I ended up in the ditch with this little car. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. 225 miles to our next stop. One thing that I can recommend if you're planning on getting involved in the bowling scene and traveling to tournaments, definitely get yourself a vehicle that has really good gas mileage. And here we are, Butte, Montana. Now, for those of you not familiar with Montana, Butte is actually one of our more historical areas of the state. Very historical due to its mining history. Lots of underground mining went on in this area, and there was actually a pretty big mining disaster way back in the early 1900s where several hundred underground miners died in an underground, I believe it was an underground copper mine if I'm not mistaken. One of the most interesting landmarks actually up in this area is a pit mine that actually is digging the same vein of ore as the underground mines used to back in the early 1900s. And if you go to the right place in Butte, you can actually look down into the big pit mine. It's very deep, very, very deep. If I'm not mistaken, it's almost a couple thousand feet deep. Guys, we made it to Butte. It was a long drive. About 2.5 hours to get from Billings to Butte, but we're here safe. Gonna take a stop at the restroom here, get a quick something to drink, energy drink. I'm feeling a little tired. And then it's off to Missoula. We got about another 1.5 hours, almost 2 hours to go before we get to Missoula. But another 130 miles or so. And I tell you what, there's absolutely nothing like driving through Montana in the fall. The colors are just amazing. I don't know if you can see up there on the mountainside, but that statue of white up there is the Lady of the Rockies. It is a really tall statue of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Butte is a very historical location in Montana. Its roots are very Catholic, and that statue is up there for that very reason. All right, we're just about ready to get back on the road, but of course I had to make a quick energy drink stop. One of my more favorite Montana-based energy drinks, Buck U. We got the original with 0 sugar, and for that little bit of sugar kick, we got the Buck U Huckleberry. These things are awesome. And of course, my all-time favorite road trip snack, Pringles. Sour cream and onion. All right, let's get back on the road. All right, guys, we made it. Pretty good drive. Oh, I'm a little stiff. Haven't stretched in a while. Weather was pretty good through the passes here. Didn't run into any really bad weather. A little bit of rain, but that's about it. I'm gonna go get checked into the hotel, drop off my luggage, and then I'm gonna head to the bowling center and see if they got a place to store bowling equipment overnight, and also check in to see if they may have placed down the oil pattern to get some practice in here. I'll check in with you guys again shortly. All right, guys, made it to the bowling alley. Unfortunately, they don't have the pattern out for any practice, but you know, if you've been watching my other vlogs, that's okay. I've had a chance to practice on the pattern. I kind of have a rough idea of what it might be like. So I'm gonna go inside, get my equipment dropped off, and then head back to the room. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow if I'm able to vlog at all.